What's going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for another match analysis. This time we're going to be analysing the Manchester City away game against Huddersfield Town at the John Smith Stadium. So we're going to crack on with this analysis. So first of all, we're going to talk about the teams. Quite a surprising one from both sides here. Now, Manchester City went with Otamendi ahead of Stones. Okay, I can understand that. Otamendi, very good in the air. They're expecting balls to be put in, crosses to go in. So Otamendi, being one of our strongest defenders in the air, goes into the side ahead of John Stones. I can understand that. But he went with Kevin De Bruyne and Ilkay Gundogan in the middle alongside Fernandinho sitting in defensive midfield. It surprises me that both Silvers were on the bench. He's not gone with either of them because both of them are very good at ball retention and keeping the ball. And so it seemed like Manchester City were more set up for going on the counter-attack, even though it was obviously going to dominate the game with possession. So I found that a bit strange, and obviously we saw Aguero start up front. I'd like to have seen Gabriel Jesus start up front. Gabriel Jesus, 7 goals in 3 games. I know a couple of them have been in the Cup, but I'd have started, I meant a couple of games there, but I'd have started Gabriel Jesus just purely because he's been scoring goals, and when Gabriel Jesus doesn't score in a game, then Aguero can come in. Aguero just have to be patient, but Aguero's come into this game and obviously not scored, so Gabriel Jesus will be thinking, perfect, I'm the informed striker, I'm going to be scoring goals, and you imagine Jesus will be getting some more minutes over the next couple of games against Burton and Burnley. Now, next up, for Huddersfield, 6 changes for Huddersfield. Quite surprising as they went and packed the middle. 5 players in midfield. They've gone with quick players up front, so I think they went with Punchin playing higher up, who they've obviously signed, I think, from Crystal Palace on loan. There's missing Moy in this game. They went with Diakabi up front instead of Mounier, who I was expected to go up front, so it seems they're going with more power and pace, so balls over could have been a big problem perhaps for this game, is how I was anticipating this one going. But a very difficult game for Manchester City to be able to cope with, so I was expecting a very high intense match, which I'm not too sure Man City prepared for that. I think there's more preparing for the physicality of the game, but there we go. Early on, first talking point, Raheem Sterling is brought down by Congolo. Congolo misses the ball, takes the player. It's a stonewall penalty. I can forgive the referee for not seeing it. There is a lot of players in front of him. He might have thought that the defender's got a nick on the ball. However, the linesman has a very, very clear view that that's not the case, and a penalty's not given, and it's just stonewall. It was just a penalty. It's as simple as that. And I was thinking that come next season, these things won't be happening anymore. Good, we've got VAR in that. The thing is, and the problem I've got with VAR is I think VAR is a wonderful idea. It's just the English referees and the officials are going to be in charge of VAR, so there's going to be another incompetent referee making a choice. And I can just see it now where he holds his finger to his ear, listening to what the official's got to say in his ear, and he'll say to him, "Oh no, yeah, you're correct with your decision," because the referees and officiating in this country is just that bad. I can imagine it happening, and so it makes VAR completely redundant and pointless, and that's how I can imagine it going. So I think there has to be some kind of revolution style or something for the officiating in this country, because it's just awful. It was stonewall. More talking points for Huddersfield. I'll get to that in a bit in terms of Man City's goal. Well, second goal. But never mind. 18 minutes later, Danilo gets into space on the left-hand side, goes onto his right foot, thought, I'll have a shot, why not? Huge deflection off Schindler, sees it go flying into the back of the net. Danilo got credited with the goal. But that's what you want, 18 minutes in. We didn't score in the first 15 minutes like we like to in most games this season, but instead 18 minutes will do. It's our 100th goal in all competitions this season, as we've completely blitzed the water out with everybody on that one. And so, yeah, I'll take that one. As I said, first half went on though, Huddersfield were really growing into the game. They was having some shots from distance, they were testing Edison, they were pulling off passes, they were getting into space, they were getting balled into the box, and they were making things happen. Most importantly, they were being very aggressive away from the ball, so trying to win the ball back. They were being very aggressive, pushing higher up the pitch, and it looked quite dangerous, and so I was quite happy to hear the half-time whistle, if I'm honest. So I went in at 1-0, we haven't been at our best, not by any means. Passing, particularly in our midfield and in the middle, very poor from players like Fernandinho, Kevin De Bruyne, that players that you come to expect a little bit better from. Very loose passes. De Bruyne seemed like he was lacking a lot of competitive match game time. Obviously going to get that back the more and more games that he played, but he did look like he was just struggling a little bit, and I felt like if he'd had someone like David Silva playing ahead of him, that it helped him to ease him back in a little bit until he picked up his top form, instead of having Gundogan, who's very similar to Kevin De Bruyne in my opinion. And it just looked a little bit disjointed in this game. That's where I felt like the weakness was there for us. But surprisingly, Fernandinho, Laporte, Danilo, Walker, each of them, again, looking a little bit edgy. I say again, I'm on about Danilo and Walker with that one, but with Laporte and Dino making a couple of mistakes with the passing as well, I thought we're just lacking it just a little bit up here. We're mentally taking things a little bit too casually, which was obviously addressed in the second half. For Huddersfield, I was concerned about them being motivated. It looked very animated towards the end of that first half. I expected them to come in all guns blazing in the second half and really go for us, so I felt crucial second was really needed in this game to be able to kill the game off, because honestly, as the second half came into fruition, Huddersfield were trying to get that momentum there, and then 54 minutes in, boom, there it is. Ball is played to Leroy Sane. He's offside. Officiated again, poor. The linesman's in the wrong position. He can't see where Leroy Sane is to rule him offside, but he is offside. And it's not even just offside. I'd say he's a good half a yard to a yard offside. I did say at the time he's offside. I wasn't expecting that goal to count. The cross goes in, Raheem Sterling's at the far post to dive header the goal into the back of the net to make it 2-0. Shouldn't have counted, but we should have had a Stonewall penalty, so it made up for that, in my opinion, from the first half, and that kind of killed the game. And I did say, right at the time of that happening, that Liverpool are very good. When they score one, they score two very quickly. So Crystal Palace, for example, in their game yesterday, they were 1-0 behind, under a lot of pressure. No sooner was it 1-1 that they scored quite early into the second half. You blink and all of a sudden it's 2-1 and the game's turned over itself. And so it shows a great spirit, fighting spirit and character for them to be able to respond. And Man City did the same in this game. 56 minutes in, just 2 minutes after scoring ourselves. We went forward very quickly. Aguero plays in Leroy Sane. He waits and waits for the goalkeeper just to commit. Leroy Sane waits to see where he commits, and very Thierry Henry-esque, in my opinion, just bends his body, slots it coolly past the goalkeeper, around him, and into the bottom corner with a great finish. Brilliant all-round play. Game's dead. 3-0, 3 points for Manchester City, and I wanted us to go on from there and really try and boost our goal difference. It weren't to be. However, right at the death, Fabian Delph had slotted into defence and midfield as Fernandinho was sitting on a yellow card, so Pep subbed him. We saw Delph come on. Delph made a mistake, gave the ball away to Meunier, who'd come on for a substitute for Huddersfield, and somehow he missed from around, I think, about 5 or 6 yards, twists and turns, goes with loads of power, and it flies past the post. It's just not meant to be for Huddersfield in this game, and their barren run of not winning and not scoring carries on, and I feel real sorry for Huddersfield. I don't think they're a bad side, they're just lacking a lot of confidence. They're a team that relies on confidence. Once they get that one result, the second result will come in, and on and on and on like that. But for us, full time, 3-0, 3 points, 4 points behind Liverpool, 4 goal difference on Liverpool. Could come crucial come the end of the season, because it could well go down to goal difference. So our way of applying pressure is, once Liverpool, or if Liverpool end up dropping points, we have to capitalise upon that, and we want to be in a situation where we're within touching distance, where if they drop points we can overtake them. And one way of doing that without Liverpool losing is if they draw and we win. Then we know that Liverpool then have to win all their games, because if they drop any points and draw a game, we know that if we've got a superior goal difference and we win our games, we'll overtake Liverpool. And that's a situation that we're dealing with, which is why I'm keeping a close eye on that goal difference. We had a chance here to boost our goal difference by more. We didn't. There we go. We took it easy and went casual for the last 20 minutes, which is fair enough. Players want to save their energy. We've got a lot of big games coming up. We've got loads of games coming from now to the end of the season, so I can understand why they've done that. But next up for us, it's a match against Newcastle away in the Premier League, and Liverpool, that's on a Tuesday, and Liverpool then playing on the Wednesday. They've got a match at Anfield against Leicester, but they're playing on the Wednesday, and we're playing on the Tuesday, so we play first, so we have a chance if we can win that game against Newcastle. Not only will we have a superior goal difference on Liverpool, we'll also be only 1 point behind. They're under a lot of pressure. We do have a couple of cup games before that, though. First up, for this game, we'll have a look at some stats and see what the stats are telling us. So, Man City ended up keeping a fair amount of possession. I'm interested to see what our passing stats are like in this, but 68% possession for Manchester City, 32 for Huddersfield. It's to be expected. 5 shots for Huddersfield, 2 shots on target. City 12 shots, 4 on target. When they've had shots, they've gone in, which is important and very clinical. In terms of passing, 345 from Huddersfield at a 72 pass completion rate, 734 from Manchester City, which is quite a lot for an away match for us. 87 pass completion rate. It was at 85 in the first half, so they managed to improve it in the second half. However, it's still relatively low. I'm used to it being around 90%, so it shows that the passing wasn't quite there, but it was enough for me to notice that they were giving the ball away because Huddersfield were capitalising and coming forward from it, and the more you pay attention to it, the more you will notice it. In terms of other stats for Manchester City, we're looking at more balls. Huddersfield are putting more balls in. Man City, though, connected with more crosses. We normally put loads of crosses in, but don't connect with them. This game, 10 crosses went in. We connected with 5. Huddersfield put 14 balls in and only connected with 2. Pep right to go with Otamendi there, it suggests. Clear-cut chances for City created, 4. Key passes, 12. It's pretty decent. Huddersfield didn't create anything clear-cut. I'm not too sure how that last chance hasn't been credited as a clear-cut chance. I don't think you can get much more clear-cut than twisting, turning from 5 yards and blasting it wide of the post somehow. But City ended up having more dribbles and more corners, and they're going to dominate the defensive stats yet with more tackles. Both had similar amount of blocks. They had more clearances, more headed clearances. Aerial duels, City won just more, 16 out of 30 compared to Huddersfield's 14 out of 30. It's quite close with that, and Edison ended up making more saves than their keeper, which is very surprising. Their keeper only made 1 save, picking the ball out of the net 3 times. Edison made a couple of saves for Manchester City. So all in all, not too bad, but not our best performance by any means. The injection of quality in the second half and raising our game just when was needed was enough to see us get the 3 points. Like I said, Walker, Danilo, Laporte, Danilo, Kevin De Bruyne wasn't linking up that well. It looked a little bit disorientated in the middle there, so hopefully that's something for us to work on over the next couple of cup games, because obviously we can take it easy against Burton. We're already in the final, you'd expect, unless we lose 10-0, and we've got a match against Burnley on our home turf, a match that we won last season in the FA Cup, so should allow us to do a little bit more squad rotation and allow the players to get a few more minutes going into that big game against Newcastle. So for this game, man of the match, Leroy Sane for me. Fantastic Leroy Sane, 1 assist and 1 goal. Fully deserves it in my opinion. Huddersfield though, like I said, they're lacking a lot of confidence. They need a new manager. Try and pick enough confidence from getting a new manager, get a good result in the next game, and then go from there, trying to get another good result and try and march on and get them that confidence up for them. So yeah, that's the way forward for Huddersfield, but at the moment I think they're sitting 10 points in the relegation zone, which obviously isn't good at this time of the season. So for Manchester City, on to Burton on Wednesday and seal our place in the Carabao Cup final four, heading into the FA Cup at the weekend, with Liverpool having the weekend off, so they've not played again now for a week and a half, whereas we've got 3 games in 6 days. Perfect. That's been the video. If you enjoyed the analysis, make sure you leave a big thumbs up and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget, if you haven't already, subscribe, press the bell and put your push notifications on. You can go check out my Instagram and Twitter links in the description below if you want to go and follow me on there too, and I'll see you all again for the next football and Manchester City video. So I'll see you then. So it's been JSGC. I hope you'll have a wonderful rest of your day. 3 points Blues, we march on again. Peace, ciao for now.